Hey, it's Griffin. In this video, I just kind of want to explain why I think OFM has changed since last year into this coming year, and kind of just what the certain benchmarks and et cetera, that you have to reach in order to be still successful in 2025 and moving into 2026. So let's get straight into it. In the video, I'm going to cover what worked last year, why it worked, and what's working right now, and then how it's going to change in the future of my predictions. So let's get straight into it. First off, last year specifically, more or less kind of 2 years ago, OFM was very, very broad in the sense that you could kind of be successful without knowing exactly everything about your company, exactly everything about your model, exactly everything about traffic, et cetera, et cetera. But now it's totally changed. So last year, you could pick up a model from Argentina, America, everything like this, and just create these Instagram accounts, create the TikTok accounts, create the Reddit and shit like that. And pretty much everyone last year was doing organic. I remember a couple of my buddies, they were looking into the APIs and stuff. And when I say last year, I mean early last year because this also changed in the middle of 2024, I feel like as well. But really like prior to COVID and like kind of peak COVID area, so that 1.5 year mark, it really just was all organic. There was a lot less technical side to OFM like there is now, and I'm gonna get into that later. But as far as like the past, man, it was so much easier to just sign a model, be on organic, and just do like the crap that just makes sense to the human brain and not all this technical jailbreak shit, API logging, etc., etc. And now that you have to do that, it's become so much of a barrier to entry. And I actually want to touch on how positive that is. So if you are hearing from gurus, or if you're hearing like people saying, if you're hearing people are saying OFM is saturated, I promise it's because they're losing or they're overly winning and they're trying to gatekeep you. Now, as you know, I have nothing to sell on my YouTube channel, so I am going to be so honest with you. OFM is not dead. The market has just become a harder barrier to entry. What do I mean by that? That means there's more steps, more money involved, more actions that you have to take, and kind of just overall more discipline that you have to be in order to actually succeed. And I think that's what leverages the market to not be saturated, because it is always going to get harder the more and more people that join, because the top are is always going to want to stay at the top. And so if you want to do that in 2025, it's a lot more technical than it was 2 to 3 years ago. So the barrier to entry a while ago was super easy. Anyone could go in, anybody that was previously doing OnlyFans technically, and they even were to manage other creators because of how easy it was. So just if you were semi-successful in bringing traffic and people to point A to point B, it's a very easy and profitable industry to get into back then. But now it's changed so much from the organic and just posting this 2x a day, maybe a couple of extra mother slave accounts, etc., etc. It's become so technical with automations, jailbreak, etc. Now, like I was saying, there's a few people that still do organic marketing, and that's just really the models that are super attractive, already big, etc., etc. But if you really want to be able to sign a model in the first 7 days, make her $10,000 and actually be profitable, and I know that $10,000 in 7 days is and may seem like a lot, but if you have a creator making already a couple thousand in 7 days, it's not that hard if they're not doing animations or automations, excuse me. But as far as automations goes, I really just want to say that you have to create your own. Like when I was asking in discords and telegram groups of hundred thousands of agency owners that are what they're doing, everyone just argues, man. It's like you ask the traffic source and it's like, no, do it this way, do it this way, XYZ, this has worked for me, that didn't work for me, what are you talking about? People get so caught up on what others are doing and trying to not miss out on things that they're forgetting to build their own corporate system. And that's what I want to focus on in this video is build your core system and then take what is needed from other people. So let me elaborate. When people go into telegram groups and they're asking for traffic strategies, they're asking for what do you do this, what's the best way to do that, etc., etc., they're just going to get a lot of people, either people trying to sell them something, it's a newbie that's just wanting validation on their new strategy they just cooked up, or it's a guru that just has no idea what they're talking about, but they're trying to sound smart. Focus on yourself, focus on your core aspects. Literally yesterday, I spent 11 hours recreating 5 SOPs because something in the iPhone systems and security got changed. And so I had to redo a total strategy that I had. It just didn't even work anymore. And I was fine with that because I know that the value that comes from building your own systems, building your own core, and having a strong development behind your agency and your business, whatever market you may be in, it's so much more important than trying to steal another information or don't miss out on the latest XYZ. In reality, it doesn't matter because If you're constantly trying to chase something, you're never going to be able to sit down. And what happens when your model leaves you? Or what happens when your model wants something new and you don't even know how to do it because you haven't spent the time to actually be the first hand account on whatever you're trying to do? And that's another thing. If you're always stealing people's ideas, trying to copy somebody else, asking people for value for you, you're never going to have your own value to either reciprocate. So, one, it may not even work. And two, when that model wants something new or wants something explained, you're not going to be able to do it to the full extent as you would as someone that has built their own systems, built their own strategy, came from nothing, and actually learned from hands on experience, fucking up over 12,000 times, etc., sending over 13,000 DMs. It is a trial and error industry. And if you do not understand that going into the future, then you're not going to be successful. And that's the pure, honest truth about it. You need to stop listening to all the gurus, all the people at the top trying to get you to sell, buy courses, etc. Stop doing that. Get away from the online videos, get away from all that shit. Sit down and create a system that makes sense to you and then test it. Test the system. Give a model the offer of giving them free traffic just for you to test it. I've done this. It's a strategy that works so well. You can contact any model, and if you say, hey, listen, I'm trying out a new strategy, I want to first test if it's working for completely free. Can I funnel these people to your page? Can you send me a tracking link so I can track the conversion rate? I promise you they will do it. Anybody in the right mind will do that as long as you know how to get in contact with them. So with that being said, my predictions for 2026, 2027 in the OFM industry is this. I think what I've just said, people are going to realize it in the next year or so and realize that they cannot keep taking people's strategies because that's just going to saturate or make the strategy itself die. And so when people actually realize that it takes a full strategy, a full 10, 12 hours a day, people will get scared and the barrier of entry is just going to get higher and higher. And that's why I'm more than excited for 2026 and 2027 because I know these cats just don't have what it takes to sit down and actually work their ass off to the point where it takes to succeed. But if you are a serious agency owner and you actually want to take this business shit to the next level, you've had your business idea, you failed, you've tried again, you failed, you've tried again, you're at somewhat of a consistent success, but you actually want to scale to the next $5,000, $10,000 a month, I do not offer coaching yet, but you can apply to work with me in my agency to help each other for free value. It creates a network of people for me, and it also gives you free value that you may not have when starting, or if you're even at that $5,000 a month mark. If you're wondering where you can apply and get all this information about me and yourself, click the first link in the description. It's super easy to follow through. Me and my team built it, so it's very easy to understand. Once you apply, you get a message from me. We can have a little chat. So with that being said, that's my opinions on the industry, how it's changed, where it's at right now, what it's going to take to succeed in your market right now, and then also my predictions for 2026 and 2027 and how the industry is going to shift a little bit. I appreciate you for watching. Hope you succeed in the market, and peace out, boys.